All right, keto friends, I need you to pull up a chair, hang out for a little bit, and see what this episode's about. Man, I got something special for you today. So today I had the privilege of interviewing Denise. She's a friend of mine. She's been on a keto journey for quite a while now. She's lost a significant amount of weight, well over 100 pounds. And I picked her brain a little bit to find out how she keeps motivated and how she keeps going. Some of the pitfalls, how does she stay motivated, things like that. And then I also talk about the website that she is the web master for and runs. So to pull up a chair, hang out, and just listen. You'll probably gain some wisdom today. I know I sure did. I had a great time. So here we are with Denise from VirtaWorks. She is the
Yay.
webmaster of VirtaWorks, and that's her baby. She'll tell you that. She enjoys doing that. So Denise, I'm so glad you're here with me today, and we're just going to chit chat and talk about weight loss and whatever else comes up.
Oh, that's great, Steve. I'm so happy to be here. This is my first interview.
Oh, so let me just go ahead and ask you about your weight loss journey. Where'd you start, and where are you at now, and where do you hope to be?
Practically out of the womb, I started. No, actually, I was premature. That was my one moment of being below weight. I was a 5-pound baby. I don't know what happened after that, but it just did not go well. I just remember just constantly struggling with my weight, almost since I was trying to figure it out the other day. Probably since like third grade. I remember feeling a little different in third grade. And then it has just progressively gotten worse and worse. And I just remember just constantly worrying about it, trying to fix it, trying to try every diet known to man. It's affected my whole entire life. It's defined my life. And every decision I think I've ever made, it's somehow weight is connected to it, and it's just been a constant struggle. And God and I want to have a little chat when I get to heaven, and just ask him, Lord, why? Because I've tried so hard. I've done everything I possibly can, and the only time that I've been successful and been able to keep the weight off has been with Virta. And so that's why I'm just so gung ho on this treatment for everyone. For not only weight, but diabetes and everything else. I just think that's how we need to eat, is like this. This is why, half the country is either pre-diabetic or diabetic, is because people aren't eating the right foods, and we're not going to get better until we start doing them.
Well, you covered your why in that as well. I have a similar story about growing up, and I was always a heavy kid. My why was to get off of the medicine, trying to get off some of the medicine I'm taking. And my doctor still doesn't have a clear plan to get me off of medicine, even though my sugar's coming down since I've started Virta, and all that good stuff. He's, I guess, just the old school, let's write a script and you just go on your way and come back in 3 months and give me some more money. So that's my why. I want to get away from that. My mom suffered from sugar problems. Her legs used to swell and just weep water. I mean, we had to put a pan under her feet, and I thought to myself, I don't want to do that, and
it's not good.
And for me, it's very sustainable. So how do you stay motivated? I know you're technically a Virta elder in the community. You've been around a while. You know a thing or two because you've seen a thing or two. I'm sure you've seen thousands of people come and greet, hey, I'm new to the community. And then a month later, they're probably gone. And you've seen a lot of that. How do you stay motivated day after day, week after week, month after month?
Well, I listened to a message from a Virta coach once that said, fear should not be motivation, but fear is definitely my motivation. Because I have experienced probably not every bad symptom, but a lot of the bad side effects of diabetes. I mean, I've gone blind twice.
Oh, wow.
And so, do I want a Krispy Kreme donut or do I want my eyesight?
Mm.
That's kind of what it boils down to is, either I do this and, try and have a relatively, good quality of life, or I don't, and it's going to not be good, so, I like to say that, it's my family and that sort of thing. Everyone says that, but it basically boils down to, I have to, there's real, I guess there is a choice, but I just, if I don't, I'm going to be in big trouble. And so that just keeps me going. And unfortunately, this is the hand I have been dealt in life is I have diabetes. And, I can either try and make the best of it and try and take care of it as best I can or not. And so I choose to try my best. I am not perfect, but I try to do the best I can, to take care of it the best I can and to not have all those bad things happen. And so I've had a friend or two die from diabetes. I have a stepsister who has been given 2 years to live because she won't keep her blood sugar under control. And she's going through liver failure. And so these are the bad things that can happen. And I don't want that. It's kind of like you noticing what your mother went through. We don't want that. And so we have to keep at it, Steve. We just have to.
It's interesting you said that because in one of my recent videos, I had a tribute to a guy that I work with, and he had liver failure due to diabetes, and he was one of my taste testers, and I was trying so much to. His liver was really probably too far gone to do anything. I mean,
Save it.
he was in line for like a liver transplant, and it's trying to do some kind of procedure on him, and it went bad, and he passed away. And so one
Oh,
day he was at work, and I went and I saw his wife and at the hospital, and I just man, it just broke my heart because I'm thinking, it's those lifestyle choices. It's
exactly.
just like, but yeah, fear is definitely a driving thing. I don't want to be like that. I want to enjoy life. I want to have life abundant. So what advice would you give to somebody that's just starting a low carb journey or starting Virta, and specifically, what kind of advice would you give people that are trying this lifestyle out for the first time? They're confused about everything. They're trying to figure it out. What's the nuggets that you would give them?
I have just always said, Virta's 90% mindset. You just have to know when you're going into it that this is not a temporary solution, because the minute you're going to stop, you're going to lose all the progress you made, just about. So you have to keep it up. You have to decide this is what I'm going to do, probably for the rest of my life. Maybe, Steve, when we're in the nursing home or something, we won't have to. I don't know. but but up until then, we just need to watch what we eat like this. We have to eat this way. That's just all there is to it. The ball is in our court. We can decide what kind of life we want, and we're going to just have to do the work to make that happen. And if you do not, I have this little saying: you can't keep one foot in the carby world and one foot in Virta world. It will not work. You are going to torture yourself with indecision and everything else. You need to be confident in what your food choices are and, make the right choices for your health. And so you can't go into it halfway. And I think I love these people. I'm not criticizing because I know it's hard to start. There's so many changes. But on day 3, some people in the community will write, and when do we get to add more carbs? You know?
Or when's the
And
cheat
so,
day?
yeah, right. When's the cheat day? And so I'm just like, no, not for a while. And so, you just have to, I just would really hope that they are prepared mentally as to what they need to be facing, when they do this, because it is the best thing they can be doing for their health. And they need to be 100% committed to it. And I'm not saying be perfect. I'm not saying that at all. But, you just have to have your mind in the right place that this is what you're going to do, probably for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, that's some good advice. That's some good advice.
So,
I kind
thanks.
of, as a recovering alcoholic, I'm the type of person to where I look at carbs the same way. If I eat one biscuit, it's
Yes.
over. I'm going to eat them
Yeah,
all. And that's why
exactly.
I couldn't have one beer or one drink. If I drink one, I'm drinking them all. And
Mm-hmm.
the same holds true for doing what I eat. Once I go off the rails, it's bad. And I just soon not go down that path because even though, and I'm sure you know who I'm talking about in the community, and she's real outspoken, and don't smack me. But she's like, I saw one of her responses to a cheat day, and her response was simple, and it's pretty profound. Who are you cheating? Yourself.
Uh-huh.
You're cheating yourself by having a cheat day. So I can't. That's some great advice off the forum for sure. But
Yeah, and tells it like it is.
yeah, but we need that.
It's good.
We
It's
need
good. It's
that.
all good.
You
Yeah.
gently set me straight on some mayonnaise issues, and but like I said, I had a blind spot. Wasn't really paying attention, thinking about it.
I'm
Like I
so
said,
sorry about the
oh
mayo,
no, but
Steve.
see, you done it in love, man. I felt like you really cared
I
about me,
did do
so I
it. I
took it
did do
as
it in
that.
love.
And like I said, I'd done a different style of keto before I got there, and I think a lot of people fall into that trap when they join Virta. They're part of the dirty net carb community or whatever. And like I
Mhm.
said, I'm not knocking that. If that's whatever, fine. But when you come into Virta, you're gonna have to do Virta. I
Right.
mean, I think that's only fair to yourself. You're paying money to do that, or your insurance company's paying money, so you might as well be full bore and do it by the book. So, all right, here we go. We can get into your baby a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
How did you become the webmaster of VirtaWorks, and what started that, and where do you hope to go with that?
Well, it was another Ann in the community, Ann B, and we we had requested from Virta so many times a way to archive all the recipes that come across through the community, and it never did happen. And so it was Anne. She just took it upon herself to just have a website for us to all post our recipes. And that way they would always be there, and they wouldn't, the app as it was structured then and for so many years was the recipes fell off after 2 weeks.
Hmm.
And so, a new person coming on couldn't see that a month ago, there was this great recipe.
Oh
And
wow.
so, or even just have a an organized place to put them. And so she started VirtaWorks, and I just tagged along for the ride, and I just loved it. And just started posting all my recipes. And, I think about, I did look at, because I knew we were going to have this talk. I'm like, I wonder what my first post on VirtaWorks looked like, you know? And so I looked it up, September 1st, 2020. And it was a lemon blueberry chaffle it was in a little chaffle maker thingy. And so uh but back then, I'd say, ooh, this was good, and I'd put a picture, and then I'd put the recipe. That's all I'd say.
Right.
And so it's definitely progressed since then. I've tried to make it look, well, here I'm saying, I basically hijacked VirtaWorks from Anne. That's what I did. No,
Okay.
I'm kind of kidding, but she knew I loved it so much, and she was so generous. A couple of years ago, she gave it to me,
Oh.
and I just thought that was so sweet, and I've just had the best time with it. It's like it's my baby, and it's wonderful. It's kind of like with you and your channel. You can just say whatever you want, and I'll usually get about 3 people that'll want to listen to me. I'm kidding. Not, it's usually a little more than that, but anyway, it's just so fun to have this creative outlet, for anything you want to talk about, anything you want to, say about keto or whatever. I like to review books. I like to review products. I like to, you know, tell about things that I cook with and I find, and, of course, all the recipes. And we put resources on there. And there's also a really good uh, uh, YouTube on commitment on VirtaWorks. It's called 100% Committed, I think. And for anybody, I think struggling with commitment, that's a good video to watch. It's only about 15 minutes. I've watched it lots of times. And so just put little things like that on there. And I've just had fun just kind of turning it into, something a little bit more than what the way it was just started to archive recipes, and get this, Steve, are you ready for this?
All right.
Was looking up a recipe the other day, and I looked on Google, and I looked over at this recipe. And I'm like, gosh, that looks kind of familiar. And I was reading further. We were #1 on Google.
Awesome.
What do you think of that?
That is great. Yeah. That's always
But,
fascinating.
yeah. It
That's
was
great.
I have some friends from Honduras staying with me, and so I've been putting some keto Honduran recipes, and that's what it was. So if you want to be #1 on Google, I think you have to be the only person on the face of the earth doing that one thing. So there's probably not too much keto Honduran recipes out there.
Well,
And so that's what we made it on Google with, was the keto Honduran recipe.
Hey,
So
it
was fun. I was
Uh,
just shocked. I just thought,
Listen, if you go to VirtaWorks and you see something you like, go down there and click that little heart button and tell her, hey,
thank you. You're
look, I
the only one
appreciate it.
who does it, Steve.
I know, but I'm
You're
just telling you, if you do that, or if you're in a Facebook group and somebody shares a recipe, you know what? It's not a bad thing to say thank you. It's not
That's
a bad
right.
thing to say, hey, I tried this and I enjoyed it, or hey, I tried this and it's done.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, because I haven't known how to initiate that more, because so many of the websites, people do post comments that try the recipe or
Yeah.
or have a question or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you have been so good to do that. You have been great. I really appreciate it.
my dad said there's 2 kinds of people in the world, givers and takers. I think in our world today, a lot of people's just out consuming information. It's like, there's a recipe, let me try it, and they don't really think about the work that somebody's done to put it there. At least the thank you's nice, but that's just my 2 cents. That's not her.
Well,
I'm
I
just
think
saying
it's
you need to
wonderful.
tell her thank you. But the site is really, I think it's blossomed into something completely different than probably what you intended, because now I think it's more of a one-stop shop for a lot of things, because you're doing like themes now, like Father's Day and Mother's Day, and you're including meal ideas, and you're doing products and displays, and like I said, Martha Stewart stuff, man. It's great.
Oh, you're so kind.
But I mean, it's like I said, it's a one-stop place, and it does a really good job at informing you of, and it's a place for education where you can learn how keto works, and you can learn. There's a whole newbie section there. You're just starting out, you can go there and learn how this goes and how it works. And not only that, it has recipes to help in that. So I really appreciate your site. I know you poured your heart into it,
and I would like to say, I'm not the only one. There is another sweet person in the community, Liz, in the Virta community. She does all the amazing techie stuff. She is incredible. I think that's her job in real life, is to work on websites and things, I think. And she has volunteered all of that time to, put the things together and come up with ideas and do things. And I'm so grateful to her. And Jean in the community, our sweet
Yeah, Gene,
Jean. Yeah, she takes care of like the events and she posts about all the meetings. There's a book club now
yeah.
that meets. I'm so excited about that.
Hey, so what's your favorite recipe off of the VirtaWorks website, or that you've tried so far?
Well, Steve, I've done like probably over 2,000 recipes, but there is one. There is one. And it started out, this was actually before VirtaWorks, but there was a man called George in the Virta community, and he was so creative in his keto cooking. He just would come up with the most amazing things. And, he'd have it on a pretty plate with a glass of wine by it and everything. And I was just so impressed with him. And one day he put this recipe out for mashed cauliflower. And I'm like, oh, okay. I couldn't remember if I had done it. So, mind you, this is, probably, if VirtaWorks is 4 years old, this probably would have been 5 years ago at least, maybe even 6. And so I thought, I'm going to try this mashed cauliflower and just see what the deal is, because I think it was his own recipe. He just put down a few ingredients. I don't even know if he had the quantities. Uh, he just put these ingredients out there. I'm like, I'm going to try that. Well, I tried this mashed cauliflower. Life changing doesn't even cover it. It was the best stuff, and it was like it gave me mashed potatoes again. It was like, okay, I can make it if I have these potatoes, now. And they're really better. It's better than mashed potatoes, and my family loved it. The next day, I had made like this giant container of it to have for the rest of the week. My son took the whole giant container to work the next day. And I'm like, that's like 5 pounds of mashed cauliflower you're taking to work. And he goes, yeah, I know. And so it's just been the biggest hit. It's at every holiday, dinner that we have. It just has been the most amazing recipe. And are you ready for this?
Yeah.
I proposed marriage in the Virta community over this recipe. I asked George to marry me, and he told me he would. But you see a ring on this finger, Steve? No, George has not come to get me from Idaho. And so anyway, and he even grows mushrooms. So a man that cooks keto plus grows mushrooms. I mean, there you go. But I'm still waiting for George. But his recipe lives on VirtaWorks, mashed cauliflower a la George, my favorite recipe. And I will give you the recipe for it right now, very quick. Take 1 head of cauliflower, just kind of chop it up in big chunks, boil that till it's tender, dry it out, put it in the food processor, a half a block of cream cheese, a half a stick of butter, and about 5 slices of Havarti cheese. I think that's the secret, Havarti cheese. And then I put seasoning, salt, and pepper. Whirl away. It's life-changing.
Awesome.
That's my favorite recipe.
Well, we'll put a link to that recipe in the bottom down in the description, and that way people can find it. Well, that's a cool story.
Yeah, George, I'm still waiting for you. If you still hear this, I'm still waiting, George.
I'll give you the last word and anything you want to say.
Okay, that's great. Well, I just can't thank you enough for having me on my very first interview, and for all your support that you've given my little website that is my baby. And I just thank you for that. And you do the same thing through your channel. We're just trying to help others going through this same journey that we're both on, and we want it to help others. And that's the main reason I do it, because I've been doing it for 4 years now, and I've been talking in the Virta community for 7 years.
Wow.
Just trying to, because I am so grateful for all that Virta has done for me, and I just have such empathy, and I know you do too, for people that are starting out and going through the same thing. We just want to help them as much as we can. And I think you're doing a super job at that. And I keep trying. So we just got to keep fighting the good fight, right, Steve?
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you for being with me today. And
Thank
I
you.
appreciate all the hard work you do and all the good advice you give in the community. Man, I had a great time talking to Denise. Actually, I talked to her probably another hour after that interview. And it's always good to have a support team around you if you're doing keto or trying to lose weight, trying to quit drinking, whatever it is that you're trying to give up. It's nice to have people that can relate to what you're dealing with. So we had a lot in common, and I learned a lot. She knows a thing or two because she's seen a thing or two, and she was glad to share it. Her website is all about trying to help people, just like my channel. I mean, it's about just trying to help people. She's passionate about it, and she loves doing it. She loves cooking. So yeah, if you get a chance, check out VirtaWorks. And if you're not a part of the Virta community, I invite you to go over there and do some research. Sometimes the insurance pays for Virta, and a lot of people don't realize that. And even if they don't, it's still you can purchase that and be a part of that group. And even if you don't want to go that route, if you go to VirtaWorks, you can learn how to successfully do keto and lose weight. I mean, the information is there. The difference is Virta offers some additional tools, accountability and things like that, a coach and stuff like that. So, but yeah, definitely VirtaWorks. And also check out Keto Fuel and Flavor. It's a Facebook group, a lot of support there. We're all in it together, and we're trying to get to our goals. So hey, until next time, eat well, and may the Lord bless you.